What's up, guys? So, on today's Shoky Masterpiece Transformer review, we're going to be taking a look at the last of the car bots in the DX9 Stunticons, and this is Dragstrip. They literally named him Dragstrip. That's the official character name. I'm going to guess they don't own the rights to it, or else DX9 would not have had the balls. Also, this one is interesting, because this one is blatantly a very different sized box. It's long and skinny compared to the other ones, which are, closer to being square. Also, very much like a hand-drawn image right there. Reminds me of the style of a couple of friends of mine's Transformers. Be interesting to know if they did that. By the way, this is number 17 in the line. Let's see, only the first across the finish line can survive. I don't know if that's a specific reference or what. You got your warnings and stuff like there. It says standard grade. Come around this side, it's fine. Come around to the back, you do get a whole lot of oxidation because this box has been sitting around for many months since I started doing this. Also, looks very different here, and this was even from 2020, so this might be one of the newest figures, period, in the line, even though it was like the second one I got. The very first one I got was Capone, which we'll be looking at next time. So, Inner Dream Eternal. It's supposed to be external hobby, I think, not eternal hobby. The first, if Sunshine can survive, it's in cursive. Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot to show this off. So this one's also different. Because instead of have a drawing right here, it's actually got a very blurry image of his alt mode, which is weird, to say the least. So they did something very different. So normally this would be an image of the toy, slightly changed, and this would be a drawing. They flipped it on this one for reasons I have no idea, but we also have instructions, which you can see here looks very different the way it is. So Scout Dragstrip, for some reason black and white thing there. I guess it is, if it is eternal, it's still spelled wrong. So either way, they screwed it up. It's not English, it's okay. You do have his character card here, which has all the stuff there. Oh my god, I never even realized. I'm always made this Planet X joke that it says strength. This even says strength. Wow. That's supposed to be endurance. It's Inorowski. That's crazy. Bank. I don't even know what that means. Flairbash. Oh my god, the typos are amazing. I didn't even pay any attention to that. That is nuts. That is very nuts. Being that this was the first of the cars I got many months ago, I'm the most familiar with his transformation. And in a lot of aspects, I think he's the simplest one to transform other than Motormaster. So once again, I keep dropping hints about Motormaster, which will be next time. But let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? And now we've got Dragstrip out here in his whatever technical car this is. I'll put it on the screen, hopefully, if I remember in the edit. It is definitely an F1 car, and there was only a handful that did 6 wheels. And it is the longest by far, and it is the weirdest one by far, because he blatantly shows off his head. And as far as I can tell, if you turn his head around to try to hide it, it don't fit very well in that mode. I mean, it would have been really awesome of them to just give a little cover for that, so it doesn't just like, hey, how's it going? But this one is probably the most unique. He stands out the most, I think, because he's like just this bold yellow and gold and red stripy color scheme, which is crazy. Also, the gigantic wheels back here that are rubber. The front ones are rubber as well, painted black and silver right there. You got the gold all the way around. Also, I forgot to fix the tailpipes there, so that's a thing. Underneath, pretty much most of the robot mode hidden. The only thing that sucks, of course, is the fact that his face is just completely exposed. All this gold, silver, black, red paint up here on the front, along with a Decepticon emblem right there. He's got the scariest transformation in the fact that he's got all this lovely metallic paint that has to pass around very sharp pointing corners. And that's very annoying. I do love the big exposed V8 engine there. That looks awesome. And of course, you got the roll bar there. Sometimes I will actually forget, and I'll have the roll bar put down. I have to remember to stack that guy up. Also, this spoiler moves just a little bit due to transformation, so it just kind of depends. Like if you want it all the way up like that, you can, I think, technically speaking, or you can adjust it down just a hair if you want. He rolls pretty good. He can get out of whack a little bit because he's one of the ones that does sort of, break in half. So you have to bear with that. What is going on here? I don't know, plastic deterioration or clear coat peeling or something? I don't know what's going on. That's weird. And you got some black paint there. Some bits of him I've discovered come off. They go right back on, but it is weird. Like this section right here completely pops off. And that might be for ease of transformation on certain bits. And then I discovered just a minute ago, before I started filming, that after I plugged in his lovely little metallic purple gun here, look at this thing, by the way. That is just beautiful. It's the only one that's painted. All the rest of them are just gray. Plugged it in here, all nice and neat like. By the way, these front wheels tend to get a little wonky. But then when I pulled it off, that happened. And I'm like, is that supposed to happen? And my question was, wait a minute, is that like an alternate thing? Can I take those off during transformation? Because these just fill out the back, realistically. So that would be interesting. I gotta wonder if there's something there or it's just a pure accident because they know that certain bits are gonna come off this guy if you're not careful. Let me set his gun out of the way over here. And we will bring in the rest of the cars of this team. I specifically say cars because, of course, we do have a much larger not car coming. So there we go. There's all of our stunty boys. At least the smaller portions of the team without the leader, so to speak, here. And even though the ridiculous race car doesn't really fit in, it looks super cool amongst this set. I mean, this picture is awesome. I'm just going to snap a picture of that. It is so funny, though, that black windows, red windows, it stands out. Like he wanted to make sure he was so evil that he had red windows. But also, it's the cool thing about this is like it's one of the rare teams of Decepticons that are cars, because obviously Autobots tend to be cars, and Autobots, they only eventually took over like kind of war machines later. They had a tank and a couple planes and stuff like that, but for the most part, they're almost all still vehicles of some sort. So for the Stunticons to become or to be made as vehicles always seemed like a big slap in the face, be like, oh yeah, well, we're going to do this too. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get all these guys out of the way, and we will set up for the transformation for this guy right after this break. All right, guys, now we're going to go ahead and get our Dragstrip friend here into a robot mode. And he's got the only truly unique transformation out of the car bots. Obviously, Motor Mask is going to be super unique. So to do so, you're going to end up basically doing a lot of what he does in combined mode. So, well, you're going to have to watch a combined mode video for that. Either way, fold down the roll bar, flip up the engine, fold in the heads or valve covers. So we're going to look at it. And just go ahead and rotate that like so. You're going to need to leave yourself some room here to do the rest. So go ahead and leave that there. And do the very uncomfortable part of popping that loose, which has never felt great in my opinion. And then we want to open up these bits as well. And we're going to do the legs because the legs are definitely the more significant part of this transformation and the part that always scares me the most due to well, it just feels like you're breaking it 90% of the time. Spudger, and we want to pull that back a little bit, give some room, because we want to pop up these gold parts like so. There's a gap right there. Makes it a lot easier to do. If you can get your spudger in there proper, like that. Okay, and then we want to grab the wheel here and pull it out like that. Do the same thing over here. And the scary bit is that all of this is so tight and compact that how the heck do you ever get this thing to transform without shattering the hips? I'm scared. I'm always scared to transform this guy because it's just uncomfortable. In fact, you know what? To make my life easier, I'm actually going to remove the whole upper body. Yeah, you don't see that very often. Because like he wants to be a shell former, but he definitely isn't. But the thing is, the part that makes it the most difficult is you kind of just saw what happened there. There is a tab. There's a tab that goes from this center crotch piece into a bit there, and it locks it in place. And it is not... Once you got to get this part past there, and then this is why it's super difficult with the upper body there, because that does not happen. Without the upper body, you totally have significantly more room to work. And go ahead and flip down the spoiler part. And once you get the wheel out of the way, like so, that's not its final resting place. It's just easy to get it out of the way there. We're going to go ahead and pop this whole section up like so. That's going to be our leg. And then you have a piece to flip out right here. If you flip the gold piece 180 and lock that in place, that will keep this area all nice and neat for the next couple steps, which will be moving the wheel here and then up into place like so. When it comes to this area, you want to extend this all the way out. This will close, and then we'll end up with a tab right there. Come down to the foot, straighten that up, and there we go. There's one leg. It's really difficult. I can't stress how annoying it is to attempt to do this with all of that in place and with the rest of the car. This is the first time I've ever done it this way with fully removing everything that's in my way, and I can't tell you. It's just been amazing to have to be able to do that. Okay, so let's get the wheel out of the way, because the wheel itself keeps all of this from kind of moving a bit, and you need it to move out of the way like that. And there we go. Got full extension again. Flip the gold piece. Flip this piece out. Slide it over. It is on a little slider. Whenever you close it, it makes a little bit more sense. So you want that open. And go ahead and tab that bad boy in. Like that. Once again, grab this yellow piece. Extend it. Got some nice detail work there. Come around here. Tab that in. Now we've built up most of the leg. And then you can see what's going on here. Is there's a hinge. There's this hinge, and then there's that hinge. And that's how you get the tire where it needs to go. Flip this up and tilt that there. The exhaust pipes kind of act as heel spurs, and we will likely need them. So, because we're now parts forming this guy, let's just go ahead and do this. One part I keep forgetting to do, and I think well, it's been a minute since I put him in bot mode, so maybe it's not that big a deal. Okay. The most concerning part of this entire thing that isn't that crotch, believe me, is this has to come up. So the next thing you have to do to unlock this whole front end is get this golden painted nose cone up and out of the way. And if you don't have a pry tool to get that up and out of your way, good friggin' luck. Okay, so from here, we've got the arms basically free. And we can begin to work this out. Turn that, fold that down. And then we need to extend this, open this up. Then the hand is on a swivel plus a slider. And then for the forearm, much like everybody else, you do have a tab there and into the wrist. You go. And then this little tab will go into that spot right there. And then I believe we want to rotate the hand around. The arms and shoulders and stuff are not where they're supposed to be yet, so give me a minute. Okay, so there. You got to kind of pull that loose and drop that down. And then the wheels, you can see there's a double hinge here. Then what you want to do is you have to rotate this around. Actually, leave that open so you have space. And then you're going to rotate the wheels themselves like that. And then use that double hinge to collapse this up like that. And then go ahead and close that piece. And then there's your forearm and your elbow, like so. And then we'll orient it all here in a second, because we have to finish these up before we do these parts back here. So let's do this side now, which, once again, you get that all freed up. Rotate out. Then you can open it, or else it gets in its own way. Slide that up. Swing it around. Tab, tab. Into place. Rotate the fist. And since this didn't close itself, you can see a little bit better what's going to happen here with the wheels. So you need to be able to clear this piece that is rotating. So you want to rotate that into that position. Push those up. Go ahead and close that guy. And then we've kind of been working on a weird angle here. So let's just do our rotations like we need to. But this whole section needs to be free so that you can pull all of that back to expose the head. Then you've got all this on a swivel. So what you want to do is collapse this kind of like that. I believe that is what we want to do. Get out of the way there. Okay, and now this gold piece is going to fill up this void. Nope, I was actually wrong. You want it flat, and then it has to go inside the void like that. So you want to push that in all the way, and then now you can close that up, and then now you can come to the back, and the best way is to rotate these guys inward. And once again, it's a very uncomfortable thing to have to do. You gotta make sure the tires are out of the way. Then tab that into the back. Fix your arm. Oh, gotta get the crotch back. All right. So we'll go ahead and reassemble the bot boy into one piece. And there we go. Now he's really tall. He's like, funny thing is, he's not taller than anybody else, but he's like lanky and skinny. You know, like he's skinny in one dimension. Like, it's really funny. Oh yeah, by the way, the elbow rotates. There we go. That's what I wanted. So I've got this one in the wrong position. It's supposed to be like that. And then like what the hell? Something ain't right. Hold on. There we go. I was like, it's like something didn't rotate the right way, but I got it. So there we go. There's Dragstrip in his robot form. And yeah, this is a weird one. One, he's solid yellow. Two, that is a weird head. That is a really weird head. Speaking of which, let's come up to that head and zoom in on it. So orange paint, purple metallic paint, and kind of a reddish orangish visor with white face. Very strange, very strange. And I think it's just on a hinge. Yeah, it's got to be a ball joint. Yep. Or else it wouldn't rotate. I didn't think about that. And then, of course, you do get the waist articulation like you do back out of Taste. Of course, you got the nice type of the engine there, the individual throttle bodies. Shoulder can come all the way up to there. Can't extend much with the shoulders, or with the shoulder wheels up, but you can do that number, do that. all the way around, bicep rotation, technically elbow rotation if you're going to go there. But it is single jointed elbow, unlike everybody else. And then his fingers do open up, although it's being difficult. There we go. So his fingers do open up. And by the way, that is what we call typewriter fingers in the business, because it looks like you're typing on a typewriter. Possibly keyboard if you want to go there. Piano playing fingers. Either way. He can do a Beyond Perfect Jean-Claude, which is fine. He can kick back that far. He can kick forward a little bit better for a chorus line. And then a decently tight knee joint to get 90 degrees, which is fine and dandy. And then you got a huge ankle rocker like so, and you can also tilt the shovel toes down. You know, it's almost like a Constructicon with this many shovel toes. And then the heel spurs that are exhaust pipes can help him keep a little bit of a profile vertical here. You know, vertical profile, that's the word I was looking for. So there he is. And of course, oh, see, once again, it didn't stay. It did not stay. So let's get those heel spurs down. Get those toes up. Because the problem is that they get narrower at the back. So they didn't really plan very well for that. All right, let's see if we can get his gun in his hand, his nice purple gun. And yeah, he also doesn't have a tab in the handle. So he's just gonna hold it all loosey-goosey. And also, I didn't realize his thumb doesn't move. So he's very unique. He's the only one without a moving thumb, I think. All right, so there he is, holding his gun, his waist. Just a little bit too wonky there. But also, he doesn't have double jointed elbows, so he can't point his gun very nice. He also doesn't, I mean, he rotates at the hip, but he doesn't rotate at the hip. So, let's see here. Not bad. A good picture of that. Alright, so zoom out, and we will pull out everybody else so far. So we got our dead end. I'm going to have to make room here. While they're I'm just trying to tuck under dead end's arm. So just tuck him up under there. If I lower that arm, it'd probably be easier. There we go. And then the other troublemaker as it goes. So it's a very unique looking team, if we're honest. They just don't look like anyone else. They don't have a unique color scheme specifically to their team. They're all different. But then also, when they make Motormaster, I mean, or not Motormaster, when they make Menasor, they basically just look like a big-ass Motormaster. So there's that. And of course, he's the most unique, not even being a street vehicle. Definitely a unique vehicle for sure, but not a street vehicle. And by the way, that was another Repro label sticker there, basically put in place, cut in half. Also, just the sheer amount of metallic paint that is exposed, that parts have to move around each other, is crazy. Also, this piece right here, I think I showed it in the car mode, that tends to pop off, but it will also give you a little bit of clearance to move some stuff if you need to. And of course, as I had to do, I didn't show the ab crunch. It's there, but it's not functioning very well, if I'm honest with you. I had to split the guy in half to really make use of his transformation proper, in my opinion. It's like he's just not the best one in that regard. Also, just his head being completely exposed at all times kind of sucks. And then the fact that he's not even back heavy, but because he doesn't have a proper heel spur, in fact, he has the opposite of a heel spur, he wants to fall over backwards as he's just standing there. Those extra double wheels on the shoulders does make it a little bit awkward, if I'm honest. You lose some articulation. Not to mention it just looks funny, but then again, they all have wheels on their shoulders. So I guess it is what it is. Also, the gigantic rear tires basically taking up the entire leg there. It always feels a little bit incomplete, but I guess they do their best. It just feels like something should go here, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for Dragstrip, and at least the car bots of the DX9 line. So go check out the rest of the playlist, guys, and of course go watch the TARO video to see how to get him back into vehicle mode. I'm going to come down a little bit because that's actually a really nice shot of all of them together. Boom. There we go. And I will catch you on the next one, where we will be working on the big man himself, Motor Master. And remember, as always, keep on nerding.